Silver Liner says, I came for the stock market and I end up playing Monopoly. Well, kind of like the stock market in some ways, eh? Kind of like the stock market. So we've got Tia Tesla 729. We'll load up the Webull scanner. Though Webull, I'll tell you this. Webull have taken away my sponsorship, guys. It's gone. They said, you're outside of the US. We don't like you. No, they didn't really. Well, they kind of said that. That's actually what they kind of said. So we've got Zoom here down 16.45%. Woo, that's bad. Then we've got NXP Semiconductors down 4.92. DocuSign down 3.5. CrowdStrike down 2.17. Twilio 1.52. On the positive side, we've got Warren Buffett, as some people call him. I love it when they say that. Warren Buffett, the best. Alibaba 3.39%.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
T-Mobile gives you more ways than ever to get out there. We're America's largest 5G network. So get out there. Take the epic iPhone 12 with 5G with you. Current and new customers can get up to 4 on us. Experience it with our new Magenta Max plan with unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone data you use. And connect your devices on the go with 40 gigabytes of high-speed hotspot data included. That's right, unlimited premium data in the iPhone 12 on us. Get out there with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
NyQuil Severe gives you powerful relief for your worst cold and flu symptoms. On Sunday night and every night. NyQuil Severe, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine.
We don't use just any wipe. We use new Dawn disinfecting wipes. They're tough enough to cut through greasy messes,
yet gentle enough to clean the surfaces that matter most.
all while killing 99.9% of bacteria and viruses.
Get the grease-fighting power of Dawn in a disinfecting wipe.
Tune in for Tech Check. Zero in on opportunities.
Where are all of these batteries going to come from?
Red Hot startups.
It is one of this year's most anticipated IPOs.
From the East Coast.
We are watching some of the key players in the alternative energy space.
And the West Coast.
So many new streaming rivals.
The go-to destination for investors. Driving the future. Tech Check. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. CNBC.
Life is full of helpful watchouts. Get one for overdrafts with low cash mode.
We're in their corner and on it because their local agent is a small business owner too.
Bit of a retreat underway in the broader averages. Let's get to Bob Pisani for more. Bob.
Good morning, David. We flattish open here on the advanced decline line. We're sitting at the lows for the day. Tech is lagging. That's part of the problem. Remember, tech has been a huge leadership group. So just take a look at the sectors here. Down a little bit this morning here. Banks, energy, industrials, all a bit on the flattish side, as you can see here. Banks, the only sector on the upside. We're going into September. There's a famous old trader saw September is the worst month of the year. And technically it is since World War II. It's down. It's August, September are the two worst combination months, as you can see, down fractionally. But I think the traders are very less impressed with these seasonal trading patterns than they used to be. And the problem is they don't work very well in the last decade or so. For example, if you look at the September's the worst month indicator, September's actually been up 3 of the last 4 months, if you put up the next chart. And so a lot of these old trading patterns, sell in May and go away, September's the worst month, the January effect, Santa Claus effect, all these famous saws that the traders use haven't been working as well. And some people believe it's because the Federal Reserve has been flooding the market with so much liquidity, it overwhelms these very delicate seasonal trading patterns. At any point, it's not hard to figure out why the market is at new highs. When you get this combination of, number one, earnings are at records in terms of dollar amounts. Number two, the earnings estimates continue to go up in the third and fourth quarter. And number four, you have a record profit margin north of 13%. Folks, that's what the stock market moves on. Earnings estimates rising or falling, margins rising or falling. So no mystery on what's going on there. And there's also a very clear rotating factor that's been helping the markets as well. So this quarter, we see a pattern here. The S&P 500 tends to be larger cap stocks, outperforming small cap stocks, growth outperforming value. This is the exact opposite of what happened in the second quarter. So we're rotating around here. Cyclicals did better in the second quarter, which tend to be value stocks over growth stocks. So again, this rotation that keeps helping the market out. Little over 60% of the S&P is up in the second quarter, believe it or not. That might surprise people, but if you look at the top 5 companies, when you get 5 companies that are essentially 25% of the S&P and they're up this much in a quarter, the S&P is only up 5% this quarter. Those stocks are almost enough to keep overwhelming the market. So this is is that problem with the selective rotation with the big caps moving forward. Finally, just on payment for order flow, I know you guys were talking about this. The SEC has just got a proposal for comments out. They've got a long, long way to make anything happen. There's a lot of different types of payment for order flow, not just Robinhood. The NYSE and NASDAQ engage in a form of payment for overflow, for trading, payment for order flow. Options markets also do that. So there's going to be a possible vote by the SEC Commission down the road. But, Mike, my sense here is that's not going to happen. My sense is the ultimate goal is just to get more transparency out there, more disclosure, opening that genie in the bottle of payment for order flow and defining what it means. That's probably a pretty tall order. Mike, back to you.
Yep, just bringing it all out into the open probably is the overarching goal, Bob. Thank you very much. Number of chip stocks, meantime, hitting record highs this week. For more on the sector's outlook, we're joined by Mizuho Securities' Vijay Rakesh. Vijay, good morning. You know, there's some excitement just on a sector-wide basis coming into today that the semiconductor index had sort of finally nosed above to a new high. It's backing off today, but I wonder how you would assess just the general sort of supply-demand outlook. What's already baked into the market? Where are we in the cycle?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Mike. So just briefly on the semi group, I think underlying trends are very positive. Demand trends are very positive. There's still supply chain constraints, but we are saying after pretty strong 2020, 2021, we'll be more selective on the semi names. Especially, we think auto industrial, some of the auto industrial names are starting to peak. We are seeing backlog starting to peak. Backlog orders are peaking. Pricing is at a peak here. And as Rick just mentioned, some of the PMI numbers for the Chicago PMI just came in weaker. And we are seeing some of the global trends, or just the momentum on the auto industrial side start to slow down a little bit. So we would be more positive on some of the 5G handset side, like the Qualcomm, Avago, etc., where we see much stronger growth into the back half, especially with Apple launches coming up here, but also going into 2022 as well. So definitely a little bit more conservative on the auto industrial side. We would try to move more into the 5G handset side. Even some of the memory names that have really taken a backseat in the last couple of months. So.
And on the auto and industrial side, where does that take you in terms of the stocks that you think are not as well positioned right now?
Yeah, we do think when you look at names like NXPI Microchip, they've executed very well. They obviously reflect a lot of the recovery from the pandemic. But you're starting to see things start to soften a little bit, especially in China. You saw some of the PMI numbers, the U.S. also start to weaken. And so we think the leading indicator is orders. That backlog orders are starting to slow down a little bit. So that we did take down NXPI Microchip more to neutral. We will be more positive on names like On Semiconductor and Allegro, where there is massive tailwind with electric vehicles and autonomous, which position those two names well. I'd also point out NXPI, for example, had some insider selling yesterday. Both the CEO and CFO selling some stocks. So looks like, obviously that's being reflected through some of those inside sales as well. So.
Vijay, it's Morgan. I mean, this is a longer-term question that I'm sure will play out over the coming years, even as we talk about shortages and demand and supply dynamics right now where these stocks are concerned. But as we do see production ramp, as we do see more capacity and more factories come online, more money put towards the sector in general over the coming years, will that actually make it more cyclical, or will it smooth out cyclicality for semiconductors and thus pricing and thus the stocks?
Yeah, I think, Morgan, the way the semi group would work is anytime the investors see accelerating top-line growth, accelerating earnings momentum, the stocks tend to do very well. The minute you start to see growth starting to slow down, earnings momentum start to slow down, I think multiples start to slowly stabilize or even move into contraction. But to your point, we will see supply starting to pick up, supply chains start to expand, fab capacity start to expand. But that would be more middle of next year. But that obviously, again, pushes back. You will see some of these pricing levers that pricing momentum that's been a tailwind for the semi names start to fall off as more supply comes on. But at this point here, I think you're still kind of in slightly tight constrained capacity here. Pricing is still a little bit of a tailwind, but that would start to kind of be a headwind into next year when capacity comes on for sure.
Vijay, thanks very much. Appreciate you running through it for us.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
When we return, more on Zoom Media and that company's growth outlook. What is taking, of course, a toll on the stock? As you see, that's a new low for the session, down 16%. See what that's doing to their deal to acquire Five9 as well. Don't forget, there's a shareholder vote on that at the end of September, and it's below the price where it was before they agreed to a deal. We'll have all that. Keep it here.
In 2016, I was working at the Amazon warehouse when my brother passed away, and a couple of years later, my mother passed away. After taking care of them, I knew that I really wanted to become a nurse. Amazon helped me with training and tuition. Today, I'm a medical assistant, and I'm studying to become a registered nurse. Hindi ko kayo makakalimutan.
I can't believe Lazy Boy has interior designers and
mandates, and halting natural gas and oil production. A risky path that could make energy more expensive and less reliable. Washington's plan jeopardizes our security. Our direction is clear. Solutions are made in America.
We did it again. Verizon has been named America's most reliable network by RootMetrics. And our customers rated us #1 for network quality in America, according to J.D. Power. #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. Most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. Proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one best network.
I have at least 20 apps downloaded. All of them have my personal information.
My kids are always online and constantly giving out their personal information.
Feel like you have no choice but to be unsafe online sometimes?
I'll take a Wi-Fi signal wherever I can get one.
When you browse or share personal info online, you may give up a little safety too, which could make you vulnerable to cybercrime.
I don't know how they got my information, but they opened account after account in my name.
Norton 360 with LifeLock gives you an easy all-in-one solution at your fingertips. Opt into cyber safety with Norton 360 with LifeLock.
I'm online several hours a day, so I feel a lot safer with Norton.
You get award-winning Norton device security, a VPN for online privacy, and LifeLock identity theft protection. Use promo code 25NOW to save 25% off your first year and get a free tile key finder with your annual membership. Call or visit norton.com/25now today.
Everybody in our military has been humiliated. Our country has been humiliated by the way they got out. The withdrawal was a disaster. And it looked like they would not look like. They told us to get out. They gave us a date, and that was it. That withdrawal was an absolute humiliation of the United States of America, and the admirals and generals are right. And more than that should resign.
What should President Biden say to the American people this afternoon? Not what you think he might say, but what you think he should say.
He should say, I'm sorry, because that's what he owes an apology. I think the best thing he can do is apologize to the American people and apologize to the world. You know, we had a lot of help in Afghanistan, and we left, and everybody else had to leave with us. But, you know, the whole world deserves an apology.
All right, Bill McGurn from the Wall Street Journal joins us right now. All right, Bill, President Biden will deliver remarks this afternoon. President Trump thinks he should apologize. What say you?
I agree. I think he's likely to brag. Someone pointed out that bragging about the airlift is like bragging about the rescue boats for the Titanic. This was a disastrous decision. You know, the Vice President, or when he was vice president, Biden was pushing for the similar policies. The real mistakes are of the last few months since he announced his hasty pullout just so he could deliver a speech on 9/11 and claim to be the president that got us out of our forever war.
know, I think President Xi of China has made a point that their system should be superior in the future. And they do have a few advantages. Let me list a few. Number one, they can block their teenagers from playing video games all day. Is that good? I don't know. I really don't. You know, your common sense tells you it's, destroying brains. But while kids are playing these